Tony Evers is proposing tax cuts for the middle class, funding increases for the UW system, and an overhaul of some of the state's oldest corrections facilities. But how likely is any of this to happen? Our State Capitol Bureau Chief Vanessa Kelson shares the latest in the state budget negotiations.
Governor Evers' budget proposes spending $119 billion over the next 2 years, a 20% increase from the last state budget.
It's a realistic budget to start with.
In Madison on Tuesday, the governor emphasized bipartisanship while reviewing his state budget priorities.
I'll give up some things and they'll give up some things, and we should be in a good place. But you know, the beginning of any budget is around huffing and puffing.
This morning, Governor Evers described his budget as realistic. What's your reaction?
Well, a 20% spending increase with a Republican legislature is not realistic.
The state's top Republican, Speaker Robin Vos, wants tax cuts for everyone, not just the middle class.
So we're really going to focus on our tax cut first.
The state's Republicans are expected to unveil a tax plan in the coming weeks.
We'll tear it all out, we'll start over, we'll find a budget that he eventually will sign, and that's my optimistic vision.
Over the next few months, Republicans will be holding listening sessions around the state to hear your thoughts on the budget ahead of their drafting process. From the state capitol, Vanessa Kelson.